By the end of the Iron Age, the people of Britain had been trading across the continent for centuries. Some objects had come from very far away. For instance, in High Wycombe, a coin of Philip of Macedon, father of Alexander the Great, was found dating all the way back to the 4th century BCE. Now, this isn't because the ancient Greeks invaded Britain. Don't worry, they didn't. But because trade after trade meant that objects could travel enormous distances all across the known world. And the people of Britain had plenty to sell as well. Their woolen cloaks were especially desirable, even being worn by Roman soldiers. They also sold things like cattle, grain, animal skins and hunting dogs. However, whether it was traded away or kept for personal use, there was one era-defining material that the people of Britain really prized, and that, of course, was iron. Metals like iron, copper and tin are found in rocks called ores. In order to get the useful metal from the impurities that you don't want, you need to smelt them in a furnace. The type of furnace that Iron Age people used was called a bloomery, and what they would do is they would pack this furnace with ore and charcoal, and as it heated up, little particles of iron would group together and drop to the bottom of the furnace into a substance called bloom. Now this bloom was mostly iron, but still had some impurities, which was no bad thing because pure iron is remarkably soft. The bloom could later be forged into a useful object like a tool or a weapon, and the waste product slag even had its own uses. In fact, it was used in Roman road making, if you'd believe that. Now, the bloomeries themselves were quite important. They were made from earth or clay, and they had to be quickly built, but also easy to destroy. This is because the only way of getting the bloom out of the furnace was to wait for it to cool and to destroy it and claim that lump that had fallen to the bottom. Now, that's all about how iron was made, but we've got Iron Age man Gordona here to show us just how it was used as well.
Once we smelted our iron in our furnace, we can make things like this. Things to barter, that's trade to you and I. But not only do we trade in iron, we can trade in woolen clothing. The other good thing, we can make our own implements. Things like knives. But if you notice, the handle itself is made from deer antler. When we hunt or we use any of our own animals for food, we waste absolutely nothing. Everything has a use. But this is really firmly fixed. This is where, again, everything comes in handy. The deer hoof and the brain, mix them together, boil them up, perfect glue, you can't go wrong. Let's also look at a sword. Not a normal sword that we would use, ours is slightly different, but this is a prized possession of war. I got this from a Roman general, a Roman gladius, with a golden handle. Gold. You see, this is not the only metal that we have. I can then make a torque, a golden torque, which shows I have wealth. My wife and my daughter will have the same. And they're not here at the moment because not only gold, horses are wealth. I have 2, and they have gone to visit another village on the horses, complete with torque.